Hi everyone. So markets found some support here after dipping low yesterday. We rallied back into this consolidation, which is a very positive sign. We ended up closing pretty much right at the highs of this most recent consolidation. Let's take a quick look at the charts as we head into the weekend before we get into the special weekend video. Do me a quick favor and like and subscribe and watch the video till the end to help out the channel, and let's get started. In news today, we got the House and the Senate passing the GOP funding bill, allowing the government to stay open for approximately the next 6 months here. So we got a vote of 54 to 46, with 2 Democrats joining the Republicans to pass this. And then we got a vote of 62 to 32, getting that 60 votes needed to defeat the filibuster. And now we have the government funded for the next 6 months or so to figure out what they're going to do. And most notably, you had the minority leader Chuck Schumer leading the way, allowing this bill to pass. Looking at fear and greed, we stepped up to a 21. It says we got all the way down to a 14 there. That's as low as I've seen it in a very long time. 14 on the 10th, and so far we've had a nice little bounce out of there. Still extreme fear across pretty much all of the metrics except for volatility, which has continued to pull back, and then junk bonds finding greed again. So markets starting to see small indicators of a turn, potentially starting next week. And then looking at the economic calendar just for a moment, you can see we did get Michigan consumer expectations, consumer sentiment much lower than expectations, down in the 50s when we were expecting 60s, and this did affect markets. Markets did dip a little bit on that data. They were able to recover, but I think consumer sentiment is starting to drive markets a little bit, and it'll be interesting to see how much that continues to play a role as we go forward. And then looking at the charts here just for a moment, you can see we did get that rally through pretty much throughout the session. We finished on the lows yesterday, and then today we got a nice push up around 2%, taking us right to the highs of this consolidation. You can see the major trend line there, gapped pretty much to the trend line and then rallied from there. Next resistance is 565.16, and then you have the 9 EMA sitting there as well at 566.46. And then looking at that hourly chart just for a moment, again, the support was 550. We touched that yesterday, rallied through this consolidation zone there at 560.07. Want to see it get above 565. If it can get above there, I think we should start to see this turn to the bull side at least a little bit and get some counter trend rally. There's plenty of room here for a nice counter trend rally, potentially for maybe even a little bit more percentage from the here into that 585, 591 consolidation zone here. And then I would expect the lower high in that area. And then moving over here to the SPY charts here just for a moment, you can see we did get back into bullish conditions. And with that, we are starting to push towards that 144 EMA there at 564.67 with your upper ATR target for the short term, 565.18. Either way, we're getting into that upper quadrant. Want to see it continue to hold in that upper section as we grind higher here and push through this consolidation. And then moving over here to the NASDAQ, similar thesis, up 2.42%. Right to this consolidation high. We can see that here, the Wednesday high. We're right in that zone now. Are we going to push to 481.94? That's my next level. Similar to the SPY, the 9 EMA is right in that zone as well at 482.98. Want to see it push through there. And if we can, then there's a nice potential for about 4.5%, maybe a little bit more, 6% higher potentially. That would take you just past these consolidation lows from this topping pattern. I still think we're going to get a lower high in here, which is going to be terrible once that starts to follow through to the downside. But for now, I think we can get a nice little counter trend rally, a little bit of a relief rally, and then we'll see if there are lower lows to come. Moving over to the Qs here on the Tasty charts, similar to the SPY, we did get into bullish conditions. We closed above that 478 level, so you did hit the upper band. We held in that zone. We're above the 8 EMA. Everything looks good for some counter trend rally. You still have that 144 EMA as resistance at the 481.43 level, so want to see it push through there, hold some bullish conditions. The NASDAQ has not been flipping back and forth. You can see we had bearish conditions all the way through here. Now we're into bullish. Want to see this hold and push into the Monday. Moving over to the Russell and the Dow, similar thesis to everything else. Got a little bit of a pop into the Friday. The Russell got back above the trend line here. We're right in that 9 EMA zone at 203.30, right in there. Want to see it get above there, get above the 205 level would be nice, and then it's pretty much the same thesis. Can we push into these longer term EMAs, maybe as high as 220? That would be interesting. Probably need some stronger fundamentals within the political environment potentially, but either way, can we find a little bit of movement into these longer term trends, counter trend rally, lower high setup? And for the Dow, that zone is going to be around the 432.78 area. Momentum stepping to bullish. RSI is looking a lot better here today than they did the previous several days. Looking at the Mag 7, similar to everything else, we got a nice bounce there, 2.79%. Got back above the 273.42 level. Want to see this push up into the 315 area. That does seem a little bit more, maybe as high as the 296.73 area. Momentum stepping to bullish. RSI getting back above the SMA. So there is potential for a counter trend rally there as well. Moving over to Apple and Microsoft. Apple bounced as well, 1.82% after the really powerful down move it had yesterday. Didn't engulf anywhere near all of that candle, so continues to look bearish, but you did get the inside candle at the level to 11.55 is currently your support. And then Microsoft, 2.58%, really powerful, back above all these consolidations, back above the 9, back above the level here, 388.03. We closed at 388.56, so want to see this move, a little bit of relative outperformance, surprising there from Microsoft. That has not been the case recently, but a nice little push here today. Moving over to Tesla and NVDA. Tesla had a nice move as well, 3.86%, right at the high of the consolidation. Pretty much the same as everything. RSI getting above the SMA there. Momentum stepping to bullish. And then looking at NVIDIA, this is the big one. NVIDIA's had a nice move over the last couple days, really strong here today. 5.27%, almost to VWAP there at 122.08. Want to see it push to 124.69. Is that a lower high area? It could be. You can see high, low, lower low. Is this going to kind of continue down in that structure? Maybe, but in the short term, we could see this go another 5% potentially, maybe as high as 130, and then you could be looking for a bigger push down potentially into this 95 area, which would be substantially lower, but again, in the short term, it's definitely showing some strength. Moving over to staples and discretionaries. Staples went right to the level 78.88. That was the low to the penny, touched that level and then caught a bounce, turning positive on the day. Nice little bounce there. Can we get a lower high from that level? Potentially. I would like to see it. But right now, momentum is still bearish. RSI is still bearish. And then looking at discretionaries, similar thesis. Big sell here, right to the level 193.81. We closed below that yesterday, and then we gapped above it, almost retested, and then got a little bit of a continuation higher. Momentum stepping to bullish. And then look at the RSI, finally getting above this SMA on that down move. So finding just a little bit of strength along with most of markets here today. Moving over to Breadth, nice pop on Breadth. Look at this here on 20-day, 61.95%, huge bounce on Breadth. Markets showing some strength here today. Want to see this continue through at least into the 50 area. Really strong pop, almost like an impulse move there. Usually that means there's going to be some follow through. Closed on the high for both of these. Even 50-day was really strong at 23.84%. Want to see that get above 32.2. So momentum stepping to bullish. RSI is not quite there yet, but I do think they'll go. Definitely showing a lot more strength here today than we've seen over the last 2 to 3 weeks, really. And then moving over to bonds, we got a little bit of a relief here from J&K. J&K was down about 0.5%, and then we were up about 0.5%, almost retracing all of that move. So caught a little bit of a bounce off of the key level, 94.82. Still in the same consolidation range we've been in really since August of 24. Consolidation, went a little higher, went a little lower, found support here again. Hoping this continues higher back up into the 96.50 area. And then TLT inside candle down about 0.5%, but really very little changed over the last couple of weeks. Moving over to my accounts, I ended up positive right around $500, just short of $500. I also added some money here to my Roth for those yearly contributions. So we're at 137, just over 137 for the week for the total value. And then looking at the positions here, I did put on shares in the Russell. Positive $86 on that trade. So far, I also sold a 203 for Monday for $1 credit. So max profit there is going to be 204. And with that position, there's plenty of room and flexibility to roll out to Tuesday. And then for the Qs, I ended up selling some 473s for about $1 each. Not super confident on there. It does look better and the more that I look at the charts, and we'll see what it looks like on the weekend. But overall, positive on the positive day. Not as much as I could have, but I am positioned pretty bullish going into the Monday. Let me know down in the comment section what you think of the budget continuation and the activity within Congress getting that passed. Is that good for markets? Let me know. Otherwise, what did you think of the move today? Can we get some continuation higher through next week? Will it be a lower high, or will we continue the bull run to new highs from here? What are you looking for next week? Put it down in the comments. Otherwise, like and subscribe if you got any value out of this video. Make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss out on any future episodes. Of course, none of this is financial advice. This is all for entertainment purposes. Good luck in your trading and have a great day.